Welcome everyone, and thank you all for joining us for a Healer Within Live practice sampler. We are excited to bring you these practice sessions, and it's one of the ways we're working really hard to keep our community connected during this time. For more online practice opportunities, including those offered by our presenter today, please check the list of virtual practice groups or VPGs available at our website, which is healerwithinfoundation.org. You'll find that listing under the practice group tab at the top of our homepage. Our practice leader today is Jill Robinson. Jill is a Qigong teacher and IAQTC practice leader who enjoys helping others, and I'm going to quote a little bit, be their own guru by developing each student's unique practice of Qigong and meditation. That's really great. In addition to her Qigong training, she is also a certified Baptiste Power Yoga instructor, a wilderness first responder, and a Kripalu mindful outdoor guide. So Jill, thank you so much for being back with us and leading practice today. I'm just going to bring your video to the forefront here, and whenever you're ready. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Christy. I'm glad to be here today. My name's Jill Robinson. I'm an LA-based Tai Chi and Qigong teacher, and it's great to be here with the Healer Within Foundation today. Let's just start with centering our body, breath, and mind. Let's bring the hands to the dantian, feet together, nice relaxed posture. Taking a few first deep breaths in, lengthening the breath, deep, easy breathing. We begin by centering our posture. We bring our awareness to our feet. Notice that our feet are connected. You can have that feeling of feeling rooted to the earth. And we center our posture by starting to stack the joints, starting with the feet. Notice that connection of the toes, the balls of the feet, the heels connected to the earth. And then, as if the joints of our body were like wooden blocks, we stack these blocks one on top of each other. So beginning with the feet as our first block, and we bring our awareness to the ankles, stacking the ankles on the feet, continuing our deep, easy breathing, and stacking the knees, making sure we're not locking the knees, just stacking those knees on top of the ankles. Then moving up the body, stacking the pelvis and the hips on the knees. You may need to tilt the tailbone in, tuck the tailbone in, or push the tailbone back to really find that center so we can stack that block. And moving up the body, stacking the torso and the shoulders, bringing some softness to the shoulders if we're feeling any tension there. And finally stacking the neck and the head very lightly on the top, as if our head were suspended from the sky. So the feet are rooted, the lower body is stable, connected. The upper body is light, the head is light. Then after we center our body and our posture, we bring our awareness to the breath. We slow it down. Deep, easy breathing, lingering in the exhale, making the exhale a little bit longer. Taking a few deep breaths here. And bringing our awareness to the breath by doing the 3-part breath exercise. And breathe in once. Sip in a little bit more through the nose. and then a long exhale. Again, we breathe in, sipping in a little more breath, and a long exhale. Last time, breathing in, sipping in a little bit more, exhale. After we center the body and the breath, we center the mind. We bring our mind into the present moment by letting go. We let go of urgency. We let go of what's next and anticipation. We let go of our expectations so that we can make room for our experience and dwell in our practice, dwelling in the moment. Continuing to take a few more deep breaths here. And today in this sampler session, I'd like to focus on the first part of our practice that is often called discovery. Many times we look at this first part as a warm-up. It's tempting to rush through this practice, this part of the practice, to get to the real thing, the Qigong, the Tai Chi. But today I'd like to dwell in the discovery, because I think that by dwelling in the discovery just a little bit longer, it helps us get into that Qi state where we can really come into our bodies. We can really center ourselves and notice any areas of tension that we can release or unblock so that that Qi can flow freely through the body. So we'll begin with discovery, and we'll have a slightly shorter Qigong practice form after our discovery. So starting with the head, bringing our feet about hips width apart, shaking out the arms loosely, looking down at the floor, feel that stretch in the back of the head and neck. We all hold a lot of tension in the head and the neck and the shoulders. So if you're feeling any tension there, you can breathe into that tension as a way to help release that tension, and stretch the area gently. And you can visualize bringing some softness to the back of the neck, just releasing that tension, perhaps visualizing a melting of the area or a warmth of the area. Continuing our deep, easy breathing. Then we lift the chin up to the sky, stretching the front of the neck, looking up to the sky. We bring the head back to the center, and we look to the right, we look to the left, look to the right again, look to the left, noticing any areas of tension and softening those areas. So allowing that to release. Breathing softness, warmth into the area. And then, as if our head were inside or sitting in a bowl and someone gives our head a push in one direction, just going to start with making small circles with the head. Just relaxing this area of the body and making circles in the other direction 3 or 4 times, as if someone gave the head a little push in the other direction. Bring the head back to center. And we're going to begin to roll the shoulders. We're first going to roll the shoulders forward and then roll the shoulders back. Inhale, shoulders come back, and then exhale. Feeling those shoulder blades come a little closer together and the chest expanding as we roll back and collapsing the chest as we roll forward. Then reversing that, rolling the shoulders in the other direction. Just breathing into those muscles, those joints. Allowing the body to relax so that the chi, the energy, can flow through us more easily. We bring the hands just right under the collarbones, right here, touching gently, making circles with the elbows, opening up the chest as the elbows come back, keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed. Then making circles the other direction with the elbows. And when we do discovery, when you're doing your own discovery, you just move head to toe. Or you can move from the feet up to the head. And just noticing any areas that might be tight or tense and just trying to release that tension. We let the arms go. I'm just going to shake out the hands. Feel that shake all the way to the fingertips, through the joints of the fingers, through the thumb, shaking all the way to the wrist, making the shake a little bit bigger, shaking all the way to the elbows. Some days when you might have too much chi, this shaking could be just the thing. Before you move into your practice, you just may want to do a good bit of shaking. Shaking the arms all the way to the elbows. And just visualizing that the hands and the upper body are very loose. They're fronds of seaweed or kelp, just able to flow loosely so that the hands can be soft. Then you can shake out the feet a little bit if you need to hold on to something. Put a hand against a wall, shake out one foot, feeling that all the way to the toes, the ankles, shaking to the knee, and up into the hip joint, shaking the other foot. Feel it in the toes, the ankle, the knee, all the way up to the hip joint. I'm just taking a couple breaths and noticing any difference in feeling here. And reaching the hands up above your head and grabbing onto one wrist. Feet are wider than your shoulders, just bending side to side, stretching the side body. If you feel a tightness in the shoulders here, you could bend your elbows. That will make this a little easier to do. And this time we're going to push across with one hand as we reach across with the other hand. Feet come a little bit further apart. We bend to one side as we push, really feeling that side stretch. We could also do this part of the discovery, discovering what's happening with us sitting down. This time as we reach, we're going to turn just at the waist. We're going to straight back. We're going to reach out to one side. The arms sweep down across the ground. We come up to the other side. We pull across with one hand and we push out. Then the hand that just pushed reaches up. We push across, turning at the waist, reaching out to the side. Hand sweep down. Arm comes across, push out. We'll do that one more time on each side. Stretching, reaching out, hands sweep down, hand pulls across, pushes out, last time. Reaching, turn just at the waist, hands sweep down, hand comes across and pushes out. Now we're going to bring our attention to the hips and pelvis. We sink down into our horse rider or Mabu stance. We make sure that we protect our knees by not bending too far forward, not extending over the toes, and just really sitting down into this posture. Feeling that sensation in the legs, feeling the connection of the feet. And keeping the knees pushed out slightly to each side to protect the knees. And we're just going to lift the pelvis to one side and then the other. If this is too much on the legs, the feet can come closer together. Then the pelvis comes forward and back, tucking the tailbone. And then we just make a nice circle, loosening the hips, the pelvis, the hip flexors, loosening up the joints, circulating the chi, and also circulating the synovial fluid and fluid around our joints. All right, and we're bringing our attention to our knees, with our hands placed right over the kneecaps. Give each knee a little massage. Massage the other knee. And I'll just do some very slight bobs up and down, side to side. Just the smallest of bends here, circulating that fluid. And we're going to bring the knees out and then in again, out and then in again. Last time, and notice here, all those little muscles, tendons, connections run through the knees, kneecap, knee joint, going the other direction, coming back up, shaking that out just a little bit. Back into our Mabu or horse stance, swinging just at the waist. We're going to swing from one side to the other. The arms are loose here. This is often called arms like heavy ropes. The arms just can slap against the spleen and the liver, the kidneys in the back. We gather our chi from the earth and the sky. And gather the power of the chi from the earth. It comes from the ground, moves through the feet and legs and the waist, and finally is expressed through the hands. And slowing that down, and just concluding our discovery with some weight shifting side to side. And as you shift side to side, you can imagine you're pouring a bucket of water in one side and then the other. Water just goes down, it fills the leg. So the side we shift to feels heavy, grounded. The side we're shifting away from, or the leg that is straight, can feel light, ready to move. Ready to walk lightly. And we can add some arms to this. We shift this way, shift back, bring our arms, we circle the hands around, arms in the other directions. It's called iron broom. Just linger for just a moment on each side as we shift. Stretching the hips, hip joint, loosening. And we let that go. The last kind of movement we can do in our discovery, in addition to the shaking, the movement, the posture, the breathing, we can practice some soothing gestures. Maybe we're having a day where we really needed to shake some things out. We've got a lot of monkey mind. We can start with the hands together. Run one hand across chest, the other follows. Back out the other side. You can think of this gesture, which is also part of one of our movements in the 9 phases. It's kind of the pet the cat part of the gesture. And you can turn the hand over here, come back across the top, over the shoulder and down, going over the top of the arm. Very soothing gesture. Happen to have a lot of extra chi roaming around on any given day. If you're sitting, you can do the same gesture. Of course, you can continue the motion, go down the sides of the body, down the legs, around the feet, back the top of the body and the sides, back up, stepping out to one side, coming across, stepping out to the other side, and coming back across. And as you transition into your practice, you can just take a few moments here with the hands on the dantian, some deep belly breathing. Float the eyes closed if that feels good to you. Just noticing how your energy is feeling. Getting in touch with that lightness of being. And you can float the eyes open, hands can come down, and sinking down into the knees and reaching one foot out as if you were rolling a marble out across the floor. You roll that marble out, stepping into our empty posture, Wu Chi posture, staying here for just a moment. Feeling that connection to the earth. As you breathe in, you feel the earth pulling you in, feeling rooted, grounded. Then as you breathe out, straighten the legs, hands come up as if the hands were leaves blowing up in the wind. Inhale as you sink down, the earth pulls you in. Exhale, hands like leaves being blown up in the wind. Inhale. Hands are light, hands are soft. Inhale. Inhale, and then exhale here. And then inhaling, you reach forward, gathering from the earth. Exhale here. Inhale, gather from the sky. Sending the chi to the 4 limbs as we gather. Inhale, gather. Exhale. Inhale, gather, bringing the chi in, sending the chi to the forelimbs. And as we breathe in and we breathe out, we can visualize, feel, bringing that breath deep into our center as we breathe in. As we breathe out, sending that breath out through the fingers and toes, releasing, gathering from sky. Last one. And bring the hands together, rubbing the hands, feeling that heat energy. Feet can come a little closer together. And I'd like to invite you to visualize that you're holding a ball of silk in between the hands. And that ball of silk is expanding, contracting. Strands of silk are long and soft, but also a little bit pliant, a little bit elastic. You're really working with that ball of silk. And you pull one strand out of the ball of silk as one hand pulls upward, the other pulls downward. The hands circle around, exhale, and compress that ball of silk. Inhale, expanding. It's a moment of pause in the breath as the hands circle around. Exhale, compressing. Hands come around, so silk reeling with the hands. Hands compress. Legs straighten, body expands, spine lengthens, head is light. A few more times. Harmonizing the energy in the body. Circulating the chi. Hands come around. Holding that energy. For our last movement, we reach out. Bring the energy in. Hands come very close to the face and body, storing that energy deep in the bones, deep in the marrow of the bones. Inhale. Feeling the energy sink into our bones. Couple more, inhaling. Exhaling. Last one, inhale. Bringing the energy deep, deep into the marrow of the bones. And we end with a standing meditation. Our feet can be closer together, maybe a little further apart if you want. Often we do a standing meditation where we are hugging the tree, or holding the post. Today, we're going to reach our arms out wide, sink into our comfortable seat. And in our meditation, we are holding the sky. And I would just invite you to take your last several deep breaths in the practice here. Float the eyes closed if you'd like. Keep the shoulders soft. Nowhere to go, nothing to do right at this moment. So resisting urgency and busyness. Getting in touch with that expansive feeling. Getting in touch with that feeling of timelessness, of something eternal. That part of you that is steady, calm, irrevocably well, does not get sick, cannot die. That timeless aspect of you. Then when you are ready, you can float the eyes open, let the hands drop, slide the foot back together. One last nice big inhale. Thanks so much for being with me here today. My name is Jill Robinson. If you'd like to explore any more classes with me, you can find all my information on the Healer Within site. And I hope that you all have a wonderful day.
Hey, thanks so much, Jill, for leading us in practice again, and for the great reminder to dwell in the beginning a little more. I love that. I love that, and I'll carry that with me. Thanks a bunch. I want to remind everyone, for other practice group opportunities, you can consult our website, which is healerwithinfoundation.org. You'll find a listing of virtual practice groups under the practice group tab at the top of our homepage. There's many people who are putting these online groups together, and Jill is one of them, so you can find her class listing there as well. If you've missed any of these live practice sessions, you may now find them on the YouTube channel. If you'll go to YouTube, search on Healer Within Foundation, and you'll find that channel. We do ask, if you're there, that you subscribe. It helps us to grow our footprint and our reach there at YouTube, and we would appreciate it. If you're leading an online practice group and wish to be added to our VPG list, or if you'd like to volunteer to lead one of these live practice samplers, please let us know. We'd love to speak with you about that. If you'll email us to admin@healerwithinfoundation.org, or just simply send us a message through Facebook. We'd love to speak with you. So I want to thank you all for joining us today. A special thanks to Jill for leading us in practice again. So appreciated. And we hope to see you all again here soon. Until we do, may all be well. Thank you.